Hello, I'm Atcha,
And I'm Garrett.
and welcome to the Late Night Guild Wars 2. Well, what else can we say actually for the new Elite spec of the Ranger, which is called Soulbeast, than just exactly what it is. You just consume things and you become a beast, actually. It's like Hulk kind of thing. What do you think about it, Garrett?
I personally adore the Beast Mode ability. I love that it's called Beast Mode. I'll just start off that one note. It's the whole idea that this whole I don't remember where this started. It was a meme at some point going Beast Mode or something like that, and it's to now, I suppose. Well, not yet, but will be a thing.
Yeah, it will be.
So the Soul Beast is very, very interesting because of the way that it handles itself. So once you sort of, I don't really know what to call it, once you meld yourself with your animal friend beast thingy pet, you get these bonuses, right? So at first, we all knew that we're going to get buffs. That was the first thing we knew. And later on, it was confirmed that there's also going to be skills. I believe there were a few people throwing around saying that, oh, there's going to be skills too. And later on, it was confirmed there's going to be skills. And now, as far as I've seen with the skills, I didn't test all the pets. I don't really see the point in testing all of them. But you mostly get very similar abilities to kind of what the pet already has, in a way. So for example, let's say you have a ranger and you have a longbow and you have a bear.
So you can literally become Bearbo then.
Yes, you become the bear bow. You are the bear and you have the bow. So what happens here is you get this, like one of your abilities is Condi Cleanse. And the other one is an immunity. There was a third one, I believe it was a taunt or something like that. Didn't really care about the third one, wasn't all that interesting. The first two, though, very interesting abilities. One of them is a Condi Cleanse, which is on demand in PvP, and the other one is immunity, which is, again, on demand in PvP. And the Ranger now has two immunities, because they already have the Signet of Stone. I'm not entirely sure, but I think all the bears give you immunity, so to some degree, whatever bear you get will get you one skill that gets you immunity. I know there's a Condi one, the one that's like just shaved and looks kind of ugly. I don't know what that one's called. Yeah. That one I know I used specifically in our duels that we did over there, and it was just ridiculous because it gives you Condi damage and it gives you, I think, either toughness or vitality. I don't remember which one, but it definitely gives you some resistances, and then you get immunity from it, and it just packs into a very, very nice build. So all of a sudden you have this situation where the Ranger isn't just about picking a pet that is slightly optimal or decent or has a blind field or can deal a decent amount of damage. Like for example, at the beginning of Heart of Thorns, most Rangers would take something like the Bristleback because it dealt incredible amounts of damage in PvP. And they take it and use that with their, I think it was Longbow Ranger at that point. And they basically pew you down, them and their pet, in just a few seconds. And that was ridiculous, but it didn't really add to the level of pet ranger interaction that you'd want. Right, so now you have this whole situation where the Soul Beast, not only does it get rid of the pet, which is something that a lot of rangers for one reason or another, because the pet it's not the most, let's say, graceful of creatures when it comes to Guild Wars 2. Exactly. It doesn't really help as much. It can be very hard to keep it alive in certain situations, and if it's not alive, it's kind of half of your damage, and you're losing it. And maybe not half, but it's there.
Yeah, and it's still a burden because at some points you just want to run, and it just gets in combat, and you get in combat as well.
Yeah, if the pet gets hit and it hits back, it definitely puts you in combat, and that's another ridiculous thing. So basically getting rid of it as a variable allows people not just to get, you get the bonuses, you get the skills, but it gives you a bit, more room for yourself. Because, yeah, in most situations, if your pet dies, you lose CC, you lose too much. And now that's no longer the case. You can just retreat the pet sort of within you, take it into your loving arms, I guess, and you become stronger for it.
Oh,
That's a
so
very...
even if the pet dies, you can still use the spell and use the pet.
I'm not sure, actually, because I did not use the pet that much.
Oh, okay. I see.
So here's the thing, but you can retreat it before it dies, that's for sure.
Okay, I guess. Okay.
So the nice thing here is the skills that you get. Power-wise, I'll talk first, and then Condi-wise. So the Elite Spec seems to cater to condition damage, but power damage is also very, very powerful on it. Because each pet gives you different bonuses, and each pet gives you different skills. And there's an antelope, I think it's an antelope, it's some sort of an antelope-like creature that comes with Path of Fire as an optional pet. Basically, this thing is the most amazing thing in terms of damage. It gives you a gap closer, it gives you a ton of damage, it gives you power and ferocity, I believe, as its bonuses. And combine it with just Greatsword on Ranger and using skill 2 constantly, it's ridiculous. The amount of damage that thing can pull off, PvP-wise again, is ridiculous because you can just kill somebody in essentially 2-3 hits, give or take. And then there's, there's also condition damage. I did try a bit in the condition area of it. And like I said, condition damage this is what the Elite Spec seems to cater to, in my opinion. And at least in PvE, it's probably the thing that'll be more, they'll be taken more seriously for, especially since the fall of the Condi Ranger in PvE. Condi Ranger having been a thing for quite some time, a lot of people, including myself, are a bit salty at the fact that it's no longer a thing. So having it be a thing again would, personally, I'd feel very good about it.
Maybe that's the reason they nerfed it, because they say, well...
I'm definitely sure. I'm definitely sure that all that they've done with the August patch was basically get everything ready for the new Elite specs. Because they didn't want them to, seem overshadowed or seem like they're just doing something new, or I'm sorry, they probably didn't want them to be, how should I put this? They didn't want them to do too much, or clone, yeah, or they didn't want them to do too much, is what I wanted to say, because a lot of these new Elite specs, they give you more condition duration. And that condition duration, it can easily go out of hand, because if you get too much condition duration in your build, well, all of a sudden I can swap to something that gives me more condition damage, which means I deal more damage, which means power creep. And you don't want that. You want to limit people's exposure to that as much as you possibly can. So what they did here was they nerfed condition duration to make way for the Soulbeast, and, the Mirage also gets this, the Firebrand also gets this. A lot of the Condi specs will get more Condi duration.
Right.
Now, I'd say something about the Druid and how it compares to the Soulbeast, but it doesn't, because one of them is a healing spec and one of them is a damage spec, and you'll never see the Druid go out of style. Because the Druid has Grace of the Land, it has Spirits, it has Glyph of Empowerment, if anything else. It puts so much in front. It damage for the team. It gives the team not just the healing that it needs, but the extra damage that it needs. And that's something that you can't get rid of. So I don't know if there's going to be a new healer coming in with this expansion, but the Soulbeast definitely won't replace the Druid, I can tell you that much. However, and again, the Druid is... No, not the Druid. The Soulbeast is very hard to understand, in my opinion, because it kicks ass in PvP. But what does it do outside of it? About this bit, I can't be sure. It's overall, altogether, a nicely rounded Elite spec. But again, I can't be sure where and how it fits. I'm pretty sure it's going to have a spot in PvE. I'm pretty sure if they don't nerf it badly, I'm pretty sure it's going to have a spot in PvP as well. And I'm pretty sure it can have a spot in World vs. World, but not as a support class, not as a class that puts out something for the rest of the team, rather as a killer, as an assassin, as the hunter.
Roamer probably then.
Possibly, yes. It might have what it needs to be a roamer, yeah.
Cool. Well, I think actually Ranger / Druid / Soulbeast is a very rounded actually class, and having like a Ranger and then having the build to support Druid and Soulbeast, you can do whatever you want because it has both of those things. If you want to be a healer, you have the class, you're ready. If you want to be damage dealer, you have the class, you're ready. So it's a pretty cool thing that they actually did that to a class.
Yeah, like you said, it's a well-rounded class, one that has access to, well, 2 core roles at this point. I'm curious what the third one will be for Ranger, because it's very hard to beat these 2.
Yeah, indeed.
So yeah, that's the brief look at the Soulbeast. It's probably one of the more interesting Elite specs, I'll have to say, because of the way that it works. It changes a lot for the Ranger. I hope you'll all enjoy the Soulbeast when it comes out. Tell us what you think in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Bye.